Take a look in my game face. Ain't no stopping me. You know I'm coming in first place. Well, stop it till I get that ring. I'ma dominate all day. No matter who you bring, I will not lose.
Yeah.
I will not lose.
I will not lose.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Owen JJ Stone, aka Black Gritty. Welcome to another episode of Gritty Nights. It is a Tuesday evening, wherever you are. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate you. I'm in a bad mood. I'm not a happy person. I'm a very sad individual. We had Monday Night Football last night. And let me get my energy up. Okay, let me get my energy up. You know how I get my energy up?
Damn, fuck the 49ers. Yeah. Fuck the 49ers. Yeah. Fuck the 49ers. Y'all a sorry ass team. Thanks. Fuck the 49ers. Damn. I hate the 49ers. I hate y'all. I hate the 49ers. Fuck y'all. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks.
I know it's early. But there's very few things that go around out here that make me feel good about the situation. Okay, so I just had to throw that in there just to feel a little bit better about the Eagles and the Falcons, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Jason, say what's up to the people.
Yo, I needed that, man. What's up, everybody? Hopefully, we'll talk this out, right?
Hey, you're going to try to figure it out. Harry.
God damn, that was early. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about last night. I mean, shoot.
So, you know, the game was last night. It was Monday Night Football. We all know what happened. It was a weekend of upsets. But one thing I'm not upset about, my boy Joe Castro popped in. He actually showed up for your boy. So we got a guest now. Say what's up, Joe. What's up, Joe?
What's going on? That was a perfect intro. The intro's fire, but yeah, the 49ers anthem. I loved it.
Hey, that's what we do around here. You know what I mean? Because it just makes you feel good. You know what I mean? You don't need the whole thing. You just need to bow. Like, you know what? It's gonna be okay. It was a weekend of upsets all across the NFL, and my goodness, it was. I want to kick it off with saying, yesterday was one of those days where you should have known it was going to be wrong because everything was so right. If you're a Kelsey fan, oh man, you got the ESPN front row treatment. If you are a Philadelphia social media superstar that likes to have your shirt off or call people dickheads or whatever, you got on ESPN, you were on Monday night, like you were out there wilding, like you got all kinds of access. Kelsey was throwing beers. He had on a Leisure Suit Larry suit. Like, life was good. It was Nick Foles night. And then what happened, Joe? What did you do? What happened? Everything was coming up green. And then what happened, Joe? What'd you see?
It just all fell apart. I'm trying to be positive about it. I will say this. I said it before the show. I wanted to see us go out there and dominate. We did the exact opposite. But I will say I think we needed that. I think we need to get kicked in the mouth because I was so tired of winning these close games. And don't get me wrong. Once we get back to, a win is a win, I'll be cool again. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll take the wins. But I'm so sick and tired of having to go after every post game. It was, look, there's things we got to clean up, but, a win is a win. We want it. You need to get punched in the mouth because one thing I will say about the Eagles is that they'll fix things when they get punched in the mouth when they actually have to. So that's the only silver lining. We were talking a little bit, pre-show about silver lining. That's probably the only silver lining I have to it. But that was just terrible. It's just frustrating because, you saw Kirk Cousins week 1. You thought he was what he was, and we saw a whole different Kirk Cousins. Now, was that us or was that him? I guess we'll find out. But I saw a travesty. I think that's the best word. That's going to be the word of the night.
So, Jason, I'm coming to you next. Now, listen, you heard what the man just said.
Yes.
That sounded crazy to me. We haven't won a game in North America in months now. We haven't won a game in North America, Joe, in a long time. So that's I tell you, a loss is a loss. You're right about the win is a win. But I've been getting kicked in the back in North America since the end of last season. So Jason, fix it, Jason. How did you feel about last night?
I spent all day flipping a coin trying to figure out if the team lacks talent or is poorly coached. And every hour I change my mind what it is. We've talked a lot on this show about the Georgia guys. They're just no-shows game after game after game. Then you watch the guys that break down the All-22 online, and they're just showing how Fangio's scheme has guys in the wrong spots constantly with zero adjustments. And I'm like, maybe it's both. There's a lack of talent and it's poor coaching. And I don't know if that is fixable.
Barry. If you have something positive to say, now's the time. We about to dig.
Oh my God.
Help me out, Eric. Help me out. Shoot.
So like one positive thing I will say is that watching that game, it feels so much better to come into a show like this with a win. Absolutely. At least we can ride that high if we got the W to help the record, help the playoff standings. But watching that game, we would have come in and said the same negative things that we're going to say in this show, regardless of win or loss. So I will say, is that a real silver lining? Kind of a cop-out, but at the same time, we would have come in here, had a little bit of celebration, and probably spent most of the time just destroying everybody on the team and the coaches and everything anyway. So, and they deserve it even more so now because, is it going to be, last season starting early? I hope not. But yeah, I think at least we can just hammer the points home and get to it.
So for our fans and our listeners, or most of the listeners are on the iTunes and Spotify, we appreciate y'all. Anybody that's new, go ahead over to YouTube and subscribe to YouTube because we're trying to grow and be adults. I'm trying to get popping like Joe. Joe out here doing big things. You check Joe out. I'm a link to it, but Joe grow. Joe doing big things. I've been watching Joe since he was middle Joe. Now he up here trying to and then when he get great Joe, then I have him back on. Then we all rise to the tide, let's all ships. You know what I'm saying? But my point to that is that he tweeted out something right after the game where I was about to not have him on the show, bro. They gonna play better against them Saints, and I was like,
"Oh, don't even."
I said, "Now, Joe, I got to be nice to you because you're about to come on my show, but I'm punching the air. I literally punched the air when I saw his tweet because I'm sitting there like that would be something that the Eagles do, but I can't even feel that right now because it was so bad. So." Let me go to that, Joe. Jason brought up the thing that we're all thinking about, right? So who do you blame for the loss, Joe? We got the defense, the coaching, the Saquon drop, the Jalen Hurts 40-second QB-ing, because I heard he's a bad 2-minute QB. I'm like, well, he only have 48 seconds. He didn't have 2 minutes. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of that. Like, what are you putting it on last night?
I'm putting it on you for bringing me on the show. I gotta go defense, man.
We are gonna have to fix that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to on a better week. But no, I have to go defense, man. Look, I know right now, Nick Sirianni's getting a lot of heat, and he deserves it. Don't get me wrong. Kellen Moore, I don't think he really deserves any, but I've seen people giving him, a little bit of heat too. But Nick Sirianni deserves it. I'll address that situation head on because I'm sure somebody's going to pick him for that play. I don't hate the play. I really don't. I feel like you called the play, you took a risk, and the play was there. If you make it, we win that game. You're the GOAT, whatever. Maybe people still, there's a sector of fans that are upset. You don't make it. Okay, now you're in a tough situation. In my opinion, and I've been thinking about this a lot, you go for it on fourth down. I think that either way, if you were that, gutsy, ballsy, whatever you want to call it, to go for it on third down with a pass play, knowing the risk, you should be gutsy enough to say, all right, well, then let's run it. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. At least they have to go 90 yards, whatever, it'll be, and he doesn't have any timeouts. It takes a little bit more time off. So I understand, but all that is revisionist history, right? Or whatever you want to call it. It's all 2020's hindsight, whatever you want to say. It's all looking back. In the moment, I didn't hate the play. It was right there. You're putting it in one of your best players. It went from one of your best players' hands to your other best player's hands. So you can't be that upset. I really can't be that upset about it. I mean, you can, and most of us are, but it's hard to really be mad at that if I just said it to you, right? If I just said, listen, at the end of the game, we're going to try and win the game by giving it to Saquon in the air. We're going to try and pass it. You would be like, that's risky, but I trust Saquon. 9 out of 10 times he catches that ball. So I get it, but I just can't put the full blame on him. You let Kirk Cousins with no timeouts moonwalk down the field. It wasn't even close. There wasn't a second on that drive that I thought we had a chance. I'm going to be real with you. I didn't think for a second. I remember looking at my girl and being like, we need to score a touchdown. It's not about going out there and getting 3 points. We need to score a touchdown. So I understand Nick Sirianni's urgency in that sense. So I blame the defense. Long story short, not cussing too much. I blame the defense. They just straight up stunk. It was missing tackles. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson throughout the game. I love the fourth down play, and kudos for that. My man was celebrating every single time he would tackle somebody 20 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's not what we celebrate. That's not what we celebrate. It was just that defense looked soft and they look lost, to be real with you. I thought we might have had something. I thought there was communication week one. You're just walking down the field on us, and they did it a couple times. It's not like they did it once. So we stopped them in the red zone. That's good. I just don't believe in the bend don't break philosophy. I said it before the offseason when we were talking about Vic Fangio. I never liked this system. So bringing in the creator of this system, you can bring me the guy that invented filet mignon. If I don't like steak, I'm not gonna like it. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I don't like what he's bringing. I didn't like it before. Hopefully it gets better. To leave it on a good note, hopefully it gets better. But I put it on the defense, 100%.
Jason?
Howie Roseman's to blame for that loss yesterday. He's the one that hired the coach. He's the one that hires the coordinators. He's the one that picks the players that aren't making plays. So the blame has to start with Howie, and then it trickles down from there. On that play that we're talking about, the Saquon play, was it a bad play? You can't say it was bad because it should have worked, right? But the whole point in that part of the game is you're trying to mitigate risk and you're trying to win the game and make sure you win. So even putting the ball in the air like that adds that little bit of extra risk. And what if he does drop it and you see it cost him the 40 seconds? And then for the head coach to not know that you don't go up 6 there, it's useless to go up 6. It definitely cost him the game. It's just the coach has to know better, but he's too busy sprinting down the sidelines chasing after Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for making a tackle.
Harry?
Man, I wanted to say Howie, but if I can get a little bit more narrow with it, I'll say the defensive line, honestly. We can't get any sort of rush, run stopping. There's no pass rush whatsoever. I mean, there's no penetration. Like Kirk Cousins, all last week on the breakdowns of week one was Kirk Cousins was looking at the first read and going for it every single time, whether it was a check down or he was throwing it away. And this week he had all day to find his open receivers, and it killed us. And Bijan Robinson, oh my God, he ran for 15 yards every time he touched the ball. So the D-line killed me, and yeah, we can, I think, expand it a lot more than that, but I'll go D-line.
So before I give my answer, who's wrong, shout out to Drew, Kate. Kate let me sneak over and grab some lunch from her. I got some ziti. I stole an apple. I stole a peach. I got a soda. I almost took a banana, but I already took so many fruits. You know what I mean? I didn't want Jason to get mad. You know what I mean? I had to sneak out.
I need the social to claim you on the taxes. That's
January. So let me tell you something. Jason be posting food on the internet, right? And then I be seeing it, and then I be wanting some. And so now I know that I can just hit Kate up at lunchtime and be like, yo, make me a plate. I just roll up like it's Taco Bell. You know what I mean? She just throw the plate. I can even push as long as she throw an apple on top of that for your boy, because I'm like 5 years old. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Just, you know what I mean? And I out here creeping on nobody's lady. You know what I mean? I sent Jason a picture, proof of life. You know what I mean? Hey, look, I need they were talking about, hey, some black man rolled up on the middle of the day. Crib, you wasn't even home. So shout out to Kate and everybody else in the chat.
It wasn't Shannon Sharp, was it?
That's why I'm trying to be open and honest with the people. I ain't trying to get caught up in nobody's business. You know what I mean? Like I said, stop posting the ziti. I won't run through and grab no food. You know what I mean? Internet make everything look good. But let me focus now. Football and sports will make you fight a friend for no reason. Now, see, Jason and I have been on like the same page with like the sports. And yesterday, he was all on because I want field goals. When it's 0-0 early in the game, I want field goals. And he said, you just don't like Nick Sirianni, so you don't like the result, not the result. I'm the
same
type
voice I used.
Yeah, I read it. That's how I read it. I read it like a grumpy old man talking to me. I don't like when Steph Curry shoots threes. I don't like Wardell at all. We all know this. I hate the man. I hate him because he jacks up threes from the moon and makes them. That's not a good shot. It's ugly, and I don't like it. And he done changed the game. I got kids out here that weigh twice as much as me that can't do nothing, but they shoot threes from underneath the other basket because they see Wardell do it. And when you don't kick a field goal, you know what it feels like to me? It feels like what's his face? Let me put it up here. So just so Jason knows, see, I made fun of Dan Campbell. This was a year ago. Kick the field goals, no regrets. Like, dude, you need these points. You need these points. So, Jason, just know I stand on business. I want these field goal points, especially when it's early in the game and it's 0-0. And I'm with Harry on the whole vibes. I'd rather feel like I did something after a whole quarter and a half and get 3 points when nobody's got any points. If you're down and it's late, all the situation stuff, I get it. But my goodness, kick the field goal. And I say that to say I'm putting all this on Nick Sirianni. I know everybody else said what they said, and all those points are accurate. I do hate this man. I do dislike what he's done to my team. I dislike what he's allowed, and I know that that's on Howie Roseman, but you should have fired him last year, because this year, after game 1, he checks his notes to do Rocky quotes. This is round 17. We got this. Oh, they don't like that. We got 17 more rounds to keep fighting. We're good. And the team doesn't react. We played that last week on the show. I'm not going to play the clip again. Then this week, he did again what is a cardinal sin for a weak man. He didn't address the team after getting their teeth kicked in on a Monday night at home on Nick Foles night with the Lombardi Trophy out there on the field. Jalen Hurts addressed the team. So everybody had a problem with Jalen Hurts and said he's not a leader and he doesn't do this and that. Please take that and put it to the side. I'll also give you the caveat of I'm tired of lazy analysis. I know we're on Twitter and I say rage-filled things too when I'm mad, but telling me he's just not the guy. Well, Nick Foles is never the guy anywhere he's been ever in his life, except for 7 games of his career.
Yeah.
7 games of his career, he was the guy. Every other second of his life, he was not the guy. So he won a Super Bowl when you never would have thought about him being the guy. So stop telling me Jalen Hurts, who's already been to a Super Bowl, isn't the guy. That's lazy. I don't want to hear it, especially when I got Nick Foles and you think Nick Foles is the GOAT, which he is not, okay? He didn't address the team. He let the quarterback do it. He let the captain do it. Why, when things are so bad and so down, he's not watering those flowers underneath the concrete? How come he isn't going back to when his dad coached and his brother was raising him up on the sidelines? Oh, high school Harry, because you can't handle the pressure. You can't look grown men in their face and say, hey, you didn't execute. I messed up. Oh, because we're on the sidelines and you got Big Don there, you're screaming in their face because of that last play where Saquon dropped the ball. Right before that, they did a hard count. Falcons went to the neutral zone and nobody flinched. And he comes screaming out at my line like, why didn't you jump? You're supposed to trigger the all in everybody's face. But bro, you can't address the team after the game. I'm done with this dude. Unless he wins the Super Bowl, I will hate this man for the rest of my life for giving me some of the weakest coaching available. You can't not address the team after losses that are so monumental. This is how you got into the trouble last year. 49ers whooped our butts, and then you didn't say anything, and you let it fester, and everybody's in there talking. Now you got people pointing fingers, and you didn't do this, and I didn't do that. So since you can't control the zoo, I need somebody else in this asylum. And everybody and their mama keeps telling me it's going to be Bill Belichick, and I'm going to cry for 2 nights if that happens. I'm going to cry. I hate that.
Joy?
No, I hate it with all my heart.
Okay. We on the same page. Can I play devil's advocate real quick?
If you don't mind. You go ahead. It's your turn. Say something.
I want to say, I heard Reed Blankenship basically say, it's a player ran team. We know what we did. Do you think that there's any sense of that? Because the Eagles, I want to say 2 things, because the Eagles have always been that kind of team, right? That it's always been kind of a player-led organization. You see the leaders of the team. We're one of the rare teams that have like a whole leadership thing that the players tell the coaches what they should do and stuff like that. We're a very player-orientated, just system and franchise. Do you think that that's kind of how the players would rather it? Just kind of, hey, you know what the heck you did. I don't have to say anything to you. Like, I was more upset when my dad was disappointed in me than when he was mad. You know what I'm saying? When he didn't even want to look at me. I'm not saying that he's their father, but do you think that there's any sense of that maybe? Maybe that's why he didn't.
So Joe, we don't know each other very well. What you just said felt good. It sounded correct. And 99% of the time, you might be right. But in the fact that I hate this man, he gets no grace. And in the fact that this man comes out and can't consistently and concisely answer a question of what his job is. He is now the CEO head coach. You have nothing else to do but tell me whether to go for it on 4th down and call a timeout and talk to the team. If you want to address the team and then let the team have a conversation, that's fine. The team is too young. You just lost Kelsey. You just lost Cox. You got Brandon Graham, who's captain positive being. Who's going to be your counsel to go and counsel themselves? Like I said, if you got 5 children in your house and they're under the age of 16 and you don't reprimand them and you let them reprimand themselves, what the hell do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen? Somebody's got to start the conversation. Hey, bro, we messed up at the pool today. We got kicked out. Now, look, this is the second pool we done got kicked out of. Now, when we go to the third pool, we need to act right. Now, go ahead and talk amongst yourselves and let me know if you still want to go swimming or not. That's how that has to be handled, Joe. What you said was right, but not with this dude because he has nothing else to do. And he told me about watering flowers and growth. But every time it gets rough, he's not there, Joe. He's not there.
And can I go even further with that? Are we, as an organization, hiring the wrong type of people? Because this isn't the first time this has happened. It feels like since Andy Reid has left, we've been hiring what you want to call it, yes men, you want to call it CEOs, what do you want to call it? You know what I mean? But we don't hire the guy. You know, I feel like Andy Reid was the guy. Everybody learned under him and kind of followed his lead. He knew how to run an offense. Do you think, going back to your point about that it might be on Howie, is it time to maybe look at different type of coaches, maybe guys that have coached before, you know, and stuff like that?
Jason or Harry, who wants to take that one?
I mean, I want Belichick, man. You were talking. At least right now, I do. I mean, geez, the way I've been watching the Manning cast with Belichick on there, his analysis is great. It seems like he's got some personality too. Yeah, roll your head, roll your eyes. Let me say my point. Like, geez, come on now. Belichick is a great coach, and we just talked about Nick Sirianni, not the man in the room. Listen, I hate Belichick for many reasons, but I hate losing and I hate having these yes men, as Joe just said, more than that. And at the end of the day, Belichick even dropped it. He said they love me in Philly. He said it on the Manning cast last night. So I want a man, whether it's Vrabel or Belichick, I don't care. One of those types of guys would be great.
Okay, so Harry, I'm rolling my eyes at you because we don't talk about religion on this show like ever because it's not necessary. But one thing I remember that my grandmama told me early and often is the devil is a lie. Okay, the Bill Belichick you see on all these shows, Bill Belichick that's out here pimping and slimping with like a 12-year-old girl underage. That is not the Bill Belichick that comes into here to work. Okay, that is street Bill Belichick. That is I got vodka in my back pocket, Bill. But when Bill comes to work, Bill's a whole different animal. Yeah, Bill seems like a cool guy. He always has outside of the job. And I'll just tell you this. Look at the Patriots, where it was all burning down around him. And now that he's left, the Patriots lost last week, but they look like a whole nother team. And they still ain't got no talent. But a new person, a new voice under his tree that's on a defense that's not pencil boy actually has them molded and coming together. So you're right, Harry, but you're wrong. The devil is a lie. This man keep his ass on television, being cool and funky calm and being that old drunk uncle that you never knew was funny because he never spoke. You just thought he was crazy. Time has passed that man by. Get me Vrabel. You already had an answer for yourself. Vrabel's good. But Bill Belichick, besides the evil that men do, that man stole from us, Harry.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You know who's not going to let him come into the house? Howie Seasonings on Stuff Roseman, who got put in the closet once. He ain't never going back.
You're right.
There's only so much power, and that's the most powerful mind you can get. You got to go a little bit under it, Harry. That's all.
All right, Vrabel, fine.
Right, now, Jason, I'm coming to you first, and I'm going to go to Joe because Joe got intel.
All right.
Jalen Hurts is not the guy. He's a terrible quarterback, and he doesn't know what he's doing. What's his problem, Jason? Fix Jalen Hurts for me.
Okay, AJ Brown's back. He's fixed, and we're good, right? So, all right, that was a pretty easy fix. No, the only issue, right, late in the game, that he forces that one in the panic situation to try and get in field goal range. He didn't need to make that throw there. He could have thrown that one away. He could have possibly checked it down. That's a little trickier on that, but there was no reason to force that throw there and play the hero ball that he did.
So pause real quick. One question. When's the last time you saw Jalen Hurts throw a check down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't, because running quarterbacks don't usually check down. They use their legs instead. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he should have thrown that ball away.
Yeah,
is what he really should have done, and you'd play another, try and get another play there, because they were close to field goal range, but not close enough.
Yeah. So your solution was AJ Brown. I'll take that as a valid answer. Joe, back up his fix and put a Band-Aid on it. How do we fix?
I'm nervous now.
Jalen Hurts.
I think it's just. I think yesterday was a good step in the right direction. I think that him, being clean in the pocket, taking his time. To me, it's just being a little bit more decisive. Kind of understanding what's going on. To your point of the checkdowns, That's really, I mean, that's really all I want to see from him right now is just being decisive, utilizing everybody that you have at your disposal. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was one of the most, what's the word, crucial of him or critical of him. I was pretty bad. I'm telling you, like everybody thought I was a Hurts hater on my channel. So trust me, I've been critical of him, but I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think that he tries to do too much sometimes, but yeah, I think yesterday was a good, to your point, you said the no checkdowns. He checked it down a couple times to, Saquon Barkley. I hit that part of my parlay. So I was cool with that. But, I think that it needs to evolve. It needs to grow. But you also got to look at the situations he's been in, maybe give him an offensive coordinator for more than a week. That would be nice. So, I think that it's what's around him, but also him just kind of calming down, settling down into a system.
So Harry, he brought up the coordinator. That's where we're going to go to next. We got about 4 more minutes to suffer with this game, and then we're going to look around the NFL, and then we're going to talk about the Saints when they come marching in. Or actually, we're going to go marching down. Either way, it's a death squad. Harry, Kellen Moore. He brought up giving Kellen Moore a little bit more time. So let me just remind you, Harry, in 2 games, the first couple plays, they throw the ball instead of running it to Saquon. Last night, it was pass, quarterback run, pass, and punt. And then on the second drive, they decided that they had Saquon Barkley and they ran the ball. And I think he went for 9 yards the first run. And then I think he went for 10 yards the second run. So I say that to you just to remind you. So how do you feel about the Kellen Moore experience so far, Harry?
Well, you laid it out pretty well for me right there. I mean, honestly, I feel okay about it. Again, I think there are some things we talked about last week, seeing motion. Like, oh, that's so cool to see motion, right? These sorts of situations we're seeing that we didn't see last year and in the past. But like you just pointed out, I mean, come on now. Saquon Barkley run the ball. Talking about 26 touches last week, and we want to give him a lighter load in practice the week leading up to this game, and then he doesn't get those carries that we think he deserves. I mean, I think about my favorite running back of all time, LaDainian Tomlinson. And yes, people are not going to get the workload that guys like LT got back in the day. But if you look at the box score of his runs, he might get 2, 4 yards, 6, 1, and then 20 and 15. And it's like one of those things where you just got to run the ball and not worrying about, well, maybe we get stuffed on one play and we don't want to run it anymore. It's frustrating. And again, like you said, to start the game, feed Saquon. The first play of the game we tried in week 1 was a run that Saquon slipped on. And did that make him not want to do it anymore? I have no idea. But no, I don't feel great right now. Feed Saquon. I know he wants the ball more too.
Briefly, Jason, I touched earlier on the field goal stuff. Are you upset with the call to swing pass to Saquon instead of running the ball and running out the clock at the end of the game?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I just think there's too much risk involved in that play, even though the result should have been good. The play worked, right? He was wide open. He should have got the first down. But that risk of him dropping the ball is something that you need to avoid there. So I personally wouldn't have called that. I would have either ran the ball with Saquon on 3rd down and then you can throw it on 4th down, or hell, I would have tush pushed twice to try and get those 3 yards. They've gotten 3 yards on that play before with ease.
And that's where I was arguing with Jason in the text message. Like, see, this is what happens when the team's going bad. It's got friends in there fighting each other when we ain't even supposed to be fighting. But I'm like, take the points from me. And then later on, when you kick the field goal, I'm like, well, why didn't you just tush push it twice? I'm like, because again, when I fully admit I'm an old person. When Doug Peterson was going for it all the time, I was mad. Even when we score sometimes, I'm like, bro, you got to stop. And then I'm like, okay, well, all right. And then when the tush push started happening, I was mad at that because I'm like, bro, you're 3 yards away. Why are we oh, okay. And after like 10 or 12 of them, like, tush push it. At that point, I'm thinking you're getting 3.5 yards a clip. I can get a first down every 3 pushes. I don't know why we do anything else.
Maybe one of those trick tush pushes, where they hand it off outside.
Exactly. So at that point at the end of the game, I'm like, so you were aggressive all game. And that's another reason I hate Nick Sirianni. So aggressive, then you're weak. Aggressive, weak. Like, pick a lane. Are you an analytics boy or are you like a vibe check guy? Like, who are you? What are you doing? You're a nobody. You're a zero, and you don't deserve this job. Rotisserie Roseman got cooked out here. None of these Georgia dogs can hunt. They're all pound puppies. Oh God! You know what y'all ain't said nothing about? Ain't none of us mentioned the linebacker. Ain't none of us mentioned the linebacker. And then I'll say this too, because I'll go right back to you, Joe. I know mid-play Slay finally stood up and said, "Hey guys, that one's on me," because he tried to face everybody else in the world. But bro, we literally all saw that it was you.
We know.
And then the first time we all saw it was you. And you didn't. But now, since you want to be media guy, a good route.
Yeah, exactly.
I fully understand being friends, and it's a community. In that moment, bro, know where you're at. Shaking somebody's hand and tipping the hat to them because you're going to go on your little podcast with a worse camera than me, which is embarrassing for you, sir. I have a better setup than you. I'm not rich. But for you to go out there and be like, "Oh, tip of your cap. It's on me, guys. Shut up." I can't stand it.
Was it a good route? Was it? Was it?
It really wasn't.
You looking at Kurt?
Yeah, it was the only person that could have possibly been out there was that guy.
Do you think Slay checked the tape to see if there was someone to blame first before he took the, before he took his fault? Then he's like, damn, there's really nobody around.
He literally turns and looks and knows that he's the only one on that side of the field. So he checked the tape instantly. He's like, "Oh, dang. Ain't even know nobody around to blame it on. That's on me. That's on me." Joe, did you see anybody else on defense that stood out to you yesterday?
It's funny.
Fangio, or is that the players? Like, which one is it? I know you talked about Vic early, but I'm just asking, Joe.
He was bringing up the D-line earlier, and I ain't bringing it. You said why nobody brought it up. I forgot we had one, to be honest. But linebackers here and there. I mean, it's I don't know. I want to like Zach Bond. Nakobe Dean, I want him to be good so bad. It's just why not give Devin White a shot? Like, we'll see what he can do on a game. Maybe he's not a practice guy. Maybe he's just, he's a gamer. I don't know. To not even have him active is just nobody on this defense. I don't think anybody on this defense outside of Quinyon. Yeah, I think outside of him, everybody's, and Jalen Carter, everybody else, you guys have been not good at all. I don't want to say trash, but you have not been good at all. So, yeah, I mean, everybody deserves blame. I can't just point out one position group at this point.
So, Joe, let me tell you something. So, Jason also pointed out to me about what happened with Carter, Jason?
He was late to something, so they didn't start him. He missed the first series of the game because he was late to a team function or activity.
So I try hard not to call people trash, but at the same time, they were trash in that game. I get real specific and just when I talk about it, it was all trash yesterday. Trash pandas even, you know what I mean? But I also try to give grace because like I had a weird feeling about White. I'm like, everybody's jumping on this dude. You never know what people got going on in their life personally. People have illnesses, families sick. You know what I mean? Something goes on. Like I said, Deshaun Watson's father passed away. The media didn't touch on it. They just told him he was a piece of trash all week, knowing that his father, who he was close to, died 48 hours ahead of time, didn't have a left tackle, right tackle. Nobody brought that up. So I said, maybe something's up with White, personally. And he did put out an Instagram post, trying the best to make it through. If stuff happens in your personal life, you just got to power through. So he didn't say what it was, but he did put that out there. Nobody cared. You know what I mean? But he didn't say that. So I'm like, okay, so we're disciplining guys for being late. You know what I mean? And maybe he might have been emotional for whatever reason and said something wrong to the coach. And now they kind of like punish you a little bit. Well, right now, I need who's ever going to be best on the field to be out there playing. I really don't need you getting into the head of Carter. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to fine him or take away his Scooby snacks for like a week or something, cool. But don't not have him start the game and not have his head in the game and pouting, because he is a young player and he seems like an emotion kind of guy, and he has been listless. So I just, from top to bottom, they got to get it together. And before we'll switch gears real quick. The Phillies, they got all they got to win is like, how many wins we got right now?
8. We got 90 wins. We need 8 more wins for.
All I need is 8 more.
You need 9. Is it a push if you get 8?
It's a push. So I'm trying to be not greedy and just be polite and just act like it's not about me and it's about the team. But I just need a few more wins to get a little bit of money.
We're on track. We're on track.
If they want my daughter to get something for Christmas, the Phillies need to do what they need to do. I mean, she's still gonna get something, but I mean, she want to get something for free. Yeah, go ahead and put that future bet in for me. The Phillies are out here beating people with people from Lehigh. They didn't make all the moves we wanted them to make, but they're coming together as a team and finding ways to win. And I really just brought them up because we're in the fight to go win the division. Do you want to have first place, Harry, or second place?
What do you mean? What kind of question is that? First place, 100%. I want first place.
Oh, okay. So the first place means we got the Dodgers and the Brewers. I'm trying to avoid them. So
I mean, we're not gonna drop, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. So you want first place, Jason? You want first place or what?
Yeah, I want whatever gives them the most rest. First place, give that first place bye week.
All right. Now in the chat and in the audience and at home, just know that you have to boo Joe because Joe, what's your team?
It was getting awkward for me.
Yeah. What's your team, Joe?
I'll go Yankees.
You can't be saying go Yankees. You can say Yankees. Your team is Yankees. You said go Yankees.
That's how people get roughed up on the show, Joe. On the show, yeah. I mean, look, we out here. What's that show with the flash and cues? I'm about to put a flash on you on the cue.
Got to mute them like on with that part. Oh God,
far around the horn.
Yeah, around the horn.
Yeah,
we need points. We need some negative points out here.
I will say this about your team when we get off baseball. You have the juggernaut on your team, and it's so impressive to see a man that big play baseball. Judge is just like every time he steps up to the plate, I'm like, just walk him. Like his physical.
He's gonna strike out half the time. So
you sound just like a Yankees fan. You sound just like a Yankees fan.
I know he is, but I still don't want to deal with it. It's like when I used to watch Barry Bonds, I'm like, walk him. Like I know, and I don't care. Like when it's my team, walk him. Every time else, I want to watch Barry crush people. I love watching Judge hit that ball. I'm like, yo, look at the juggernaut. He can swing a bat. Like how could you be that big and running? Oh, it's so impressive. When it's my team, I'm up in here shaking like a kid on prom night. Like I don't know what to do. So that's all we got to say about them punk Scooby McDoo Yankees. Go Phils. Go Phils. Don't you say nothing, Joe. What? You're not going to say what you said now. So around the league, like I said, what was the most shocking upset of the weekend for you, Joe, Eagles aside?
I'm gonna have to go on my bag. You're talking about last week, right? Or this week, right? Because it's
the Vikings.
We're going into week 3. I had to think for a second.
Yeah.
Last week, I mean, I'm sure I'll leave the Cowboys for somebody else. I think the 49ers game. I think Sam Darnold looking like Joe Montana. He was there. Sam Darnold. I am so happy for him. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like him at all. There's like no connection between that guy and me, but I'm so happy for him to go out there and be able to, lead a team. But I think that was probably the most surprising. I mean, I know you don't have Christian McCaffrey. Now Debo's hurt, which sucks for them. But I don't know. It was just a weird game. It felt like that whole game they were going to come back at some point. It felt like, all right, this is the drive. All right, this is the drive. And it just never happened. So I would have to say that the crazy throw to Justin Jefferson, who hopefully comes back pretty soon. I don't know what the word on his injury was, but the throw from the end zone was ridiculous. That was the most gutsy throw I've seen probably in all my years of watching football, and it came from Sam Darnold, which is just crazy. It's just crazy, but yeah, I'll have to say that game.
So Sam Darnold had his little Kirk Cousins, who that moment he went in the locker room was like, Shanahan should have never cut me, and there's a whole bunch of and there's something about that kind of white boy that be talking like that because you can hear it in his voice. He was like, oh man, he was so hyped. So you're right, I was happy for him because he was like, he's been through a lot. He's been through a couple teams and he has been cut and let go and. Lord knows if you play for the Jets, I mean, I can't even really assess you as a quarterback. The league is doing quarterbacks wrong right now. But for him to get that win in the way he did, like you said, it was gutsy. It was impressive. And more so, not even him. Who's the coach, Jason, for the Vikings? The defensive coach?
The defensive coach is Brian Flores.
But he put
Brian Flores
on him. Yeah. Can we steal him? Because the one thing Purdy came out, I heard him say the little handshake, and then he's like, what kind of scheme was that? You guys' scheme was crazy. People were everywhere. You might not want to be saying that out loud, bro. There's mics around. Like, you might not want to say that. And before I go to you, Harry, so you can think about it for 2 seconds, about your upset. You know what I mean? The one thing about that upset too that makes us all feel.
Damn. Fuck the 49ers. Yeah. Fuck the 49ers. Yeah. Fuck the 49ers. Y'all a sorry ass team. Thanks. Fuck the 49ers. Damn. I hate the 49ers. I hate y'all. I hate the 49ers. Fuck y'all. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 hey. Y'all lost to the Chiefs. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 hey. Super Bowl losing streak.
Every time, boy. Every time, boy.
That's why I brought that game up. That's why I brought that game up.
I hope that dude never finds this podcast, bro. He gonna hit me for a royalty check. You know what I mean? He gonna be on me, boy. I owe him some money. Harry, what was your upset of the weekend?
Man, I mean, I think this is, it's I'm choosing this because I think this could be an upset that means the end of the season for this team, or at least the end of the season that I thought they were going to have, and that's the Ravens losing at home to the Raiders. I know that was a close game, but a lot of people, that was my preseason pick to win that division. It's not looking great right now, just from the way they're playing as much as anything. I won't be 0-2, obviously not great either. But yeah, Lamar, I mean, after the MVP season last year, getting Derrick Henry now, I thought they're going to be a better team. And they're not looking like it, so I'm going with the Ravens.
And nobody's talking about Lamar, bro. Why nobody's talking about Lamar?
Because people can't say anything about Lamar because he had too much hate, I feel like, already being the running back, right, coming into the league, stuff like that. People want to support him. I don't know what it is, but, Jalen, if Jalen was playing like Lamar, we'd be a lot more pissed on this podcast. That's for sure.
To be fair, Lamar talks. The part of the thing that people hate about Jalen is that he's too buttoned up. Even though we're in Philadelphia, the way he speaks is, for me, perfect for the city. He's buttoned up. He's not saying anything crazy. He's not reckless. Lamar is out here checking people. I stand on that no matter what. That was a touchdown. That is on my business. And I'm like, all right, bro, I really can't even talk to you because you're trying to fight every time I I mean, you literally saw the dude's foot out of bounds and you're going to tell me you standing on business? Well, what? All right, what am I supposed to do with it? You know what I mean? And then you got the other half of the people that are just racist analysts of the 800s. These brothers can't throw. They just run. Look at him run. And why isn't he running? All he does is run. And then you don't want to agree with them. So he's so good. He's getting put into this little pocket of like, man, just leave him alone. He don't want 2 MVPs. He ain't did nothing else. So what is he supposed to do? Like, he has so many caveats and excuses. And the one great thing he has in his back pocket is he don't lose to nobody in the NFC. He does not lose when he plays the whole one side of the game. Like, on his side, he can't get it done sometimes. But when he come over here, look, it's like that thing of how many kids do you think you can beat? Like 10, 20? You know what I mean? Yeah. Lamar's like, I'll take 100 of them. You know what I mean? I won't take 3 adults over here, but I'll take 100 kids on that side of the court. So there's a lot of dynamic seeds going on with him. And by the way, Minshew Magic, I told Jason I'm on the Vikings. I'm not the Vikings, on the Raiders train. So I'm lucky they squeaked one out because I've been trying to talk trash to Jason about it. And he keeps telling me Minshew ain't nobody. QB. Yep, Minshew ain't nobody, never been nobody, never be nobody. So every time I get a little magic, I get to tell him.
Lost to Herbert last week, so you got to put Herbert higher on your rankings now too. That's a mute right there. Why
are you? What's what I got to deal with? You want to be a host on the show?
How did they lose to the Chargers? I'm sorry, the Ravens. I'm sorry. How did they?
I might be looking for a third. Jason, your upset game.
Jokingly, I'll say the refs over the Bengals will be my week. But no, my actual upset is the Packers beating the Colts with Malik Willis at quarterback. I'm not even sure he is a quarterback, and he's only been there for about a week and a half. He didn't even know how to do the Hail Mary versus the Eagles last week. But then they came out there, they run the ball, like 50 times or something like that.
Imagine that.
And the Colts, Anthony Richardson, who is an alien, but also can't throw an accurate pass within 15 yards. So, it hurts them a little bit. So that was actually the most surprising one of the week.
Okay. Since Joe left for me, and nobody said.
Y'all did.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in. They had TDs in Jerry's world. 6 straight touchdowns in Jerry's world. You had Derek Carr looking like primetime Manning. He looked like a superhero out there on the field. Like he was Michael Jackson. He on people. Like, why is Derek Carr? The Carr family, one of the trash family of quarterbacks, the concussion protocol poster child family, walk into Jerry's world, $1 billion playpen, After you done won 1999 games in a row, and you let Derek Carr come up in there, oh, Kamar. That's how many touchdowns he had. I don't know how many yards it was, but they got whooped. Oh my God, they got it ran down their throat. And guess what? We're all in. You went paid, you got the highest paid quarterback. The CD Lamb, you gave him $3 less than Jefferson. You should have gave him $3 million less. Because my goodness, where was he? Pick out of the game early. In Jerry's world, I'd have paid all that money for these standing room only tickets. You got people standing outside that stadium for 4 hours like it's a tailgate because they too broke for a seat and they got to pay for standing room only and to fight each other like gladiators to have a space to see them get their ass whooped like that. Oh, Jerry. That was embarrassing. That was so embarrassing. And I say all that to say, I don't want to go to New Orleans next week.
No.
I don't, because Derek Carr is a terrible quarterback, but we all know he's got like 4 games a year in him where he just, again, looks like Dan Marino. And we're all like, is Derek Carr good? And then he'll start messing up, and then you remember that he's a Carr, and you'll be like, oh, okay. But again, new offensive coordinator down there, he eating beignets, I get that, but you let the man grab his sack and kick a hee-hee on you in Jerry's world. So maybe he's feeling himself a little bit. Sneed, CJ, if you don't stand back at the goal line forward, because you've been gotten toasted 2 times over the top, and this dude is coming for you. If you don't do something. Now, I'm going to ask Joe. I don't even want to talk about the rest. By the way, last thing I'll say something outside. The way football works is people try to steal other players and other coaches from other teams when they see value. So when you look at Kyler Murray, and he had to coach Kingsbury come in there and basically ruined Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray was terrible. He was playing more video games than studying. He looked like Michael Vick in the dog pit. And then you took Kingsbury away, and you say to yourself, I'm a Sixers owner, and I'm going to be a football guy. I'm going to go take Kingsbury. And you bring him over for your quarterback, Daniels, and then you go and look at Kyler Murray again, and you're like, he looks like prime Russell Wilson. What happened? Oh, you got a new coordinator in there that's not Kingsbury. So when the guy that you brought, you think some kind of quarterback guru is about to screw your guy over, you might want to readjust. The league fixes certain things, and that's why Bryce Young isn't as bad as you think he is. Last year, he was progressing along very well. The problem is the owner's a weirdo. He looked over at C.J. Stroud and said, let me go get all the assistants that worked on the Texans because I want a C.J. Stroud type system. And he fired all the people that were developing him, and now they've got all new people there. And guess what? The kid looks like trash because it's a new system, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and nobody's there to help him. So just watch the league when you're out here picking and poaching people, and that's why Belichick is still on the couch. Now, Joe, I'm coming back to you to say this. You had the gall, the audacity, the unmitigated deception to tweet out about what we gonna go down there and do in New Orleans. So tell me, Joe, how do we get it done? Give me the game plan. I got my pen. I got my paper. I will walk down to the office and tell Vic Fangio my son. How in the Lord's Jiminy Christmas name do you think we gonna stop those killers? Because they're murderers down there. They killing folks. Go ahead, Joe. Tell me.
Faith. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I mean, look, I don't think this defense has been bad, all right? But there are areas where I feel like it has worked. They are a team that wants to get the big play. That's literally what they're trying to do. They're trying to let you pick your way down the field so that they can try and make you make a mistake and they can pick you off. It hasn't necessarily worked these past 2 games, but that's their, goal. That's what it seems like. So with a Derek Carr, at some point, they've scored on every single drive this season. Every single drive. Not just against the Cowboys, every single drive they've scored this year. So, I mean, it has to stop at some point, right? And not just that.
Joe's reading the comments. Like, hold on a second, Joe. For people listening on audio, Joe started giggling in the middle of his soliloquy right there. Go ahead and put Kate's comment back up there on the screen. Kate came in and said, "You had me, then you lost them, Joe." Like, he was on your side, and then you started. See, by the way, I wrote down what Joe said to tell him. It says, "Please, Lord." Like,
basically. I think that this offense is the catalyst. At the end of the day, the defense, we know what they're going to give us. So if the offense can hold the ball, right? They did that. They did that well over the first 2 weeks. You run the ball. We ran the ball, I think, 23 times last time with just Saquon. Saquon gets those touches. Maybe add a little bit more to the run game. I don't like Kenneth Gainwell. Maybe get like Will Shipley in there a little bit, but add to the run game. Add a couple of layers. Go slow down the field. I think that's what their mentality is right now on offense, is to take their time and not put their defense in bad situations. So if you can actually achieve that and do that and go down there and just take your points, score when you're down there, because you're going to get back down there. We're not one of those offenses, and that's what I think Nick Sirianni sometimes has in his head, that, you don't know when you'll get back here. We're going to get back there, okay? So just take your points, play the game as it comes to you, and be consistent. I think that that's the one thing that I think we've all been saying, just in different ways. If Nick Sirianni picks what he is, we're going to accept it to a fault, right? Unless you start losing, then we're going to accept it. If you're going to say, I'm going for it every time it is fourth and close enough, then okay, we accept that. Or if you say every time it's fourth down, I'm punting it, I'm taking my field goal, whatever it is, okay, we accept that. Know who you are going into this game, and I think you can win it. We have a very good offense, and it can mask the defense. Our defense hasn't been giving up, crazy amount of points, crazy amount of yards. It hasn't been beautiful, but like the first game, they weren't horrible. There was some, flashes. Zach Bond looked good. There were some flashes. Quinyon looked good. So bring that back together. Let's keep developing. Don't put them in situations where they have to win the game. And I think we can be okay. It's all about this offense. It really is. If we can just, keep on being who we are on offense and, pound our identity into other teams, we'll be fine. But I mean, it's going to be a tough one. I'm trying to find the way. I'm trying to find a way to say this easily. It's going to be a tough one, but I think that we have the weapons, especially on offense, to force them into mistakes. If we're up early, Derek Carr is going to probably press a little bit. They ran the same touchdown play that they had to, what's his name, Shaheed? They ran the same thing in week one, the exact same play. So they're not, some crazy type of offense. We just got to go out there and play ball. We got to go out there and actually tackle, actually do the small things, and I think we'll be fine.
So Drew obviously in the chat agrees with you, and Jay brought up Jalix Hunt. I'm trying to see him. I'm trying to see anybody else in there right now, because we did let Zero off the hook, Huff, because he did zero. He's done zero. He is a zero. But again, we did put Howie with a lot of blame, so we mix him in with Howie because we don't want to talk about that, man. So what you said is what I thought the season was going to be like. There were 2 or 3 drives where it's like, Jalen Hurts just isn't that guy. He can't close out games. I'm like, well, did you see him have a 16-play drive for 9 minutes, completing every single pass? You know what I mean? Running the ball and doing everything he needed to do. Did you see him do that? Did you see him do it again for 8 minutes? I literally need you to start the games off like that. That's why you need to start with the runs and get that clock rolling and keep the defense off the field. Because the other thing I don't like is that Vic Fangio sounds like he says the right things. I was hyped on him in the way he was speaking, but this defense is full of young pillow cushions who are winded after the first quarter. And I know it's early in the year, and you're thinking, oh, it's early in the season. It's early in the season. They should be fresher. They should be healthier. And then when I look at the other side of the line and they're not huffing and puffing like they are, I feel like it's a conditioning issue. I feel like that's all going back to a coaching issue. And it's going back to a let these guys be comfortable issue. But if you want to go out there and punish the guy and not let him start because he was a little late, you should punish him by putting him on the treadmill for an extra half hour. And by the way, if you're listening on audio, I'm an overweight person. I do understand that's critical of me to say, but I'm also just a reactionary person. I'm not getting paid $30 million. If you would pay me $2 million, I would look like Harry inside of 6 months for $2 million. That's all I need. That's all I need. Real motivation. I mean, the ladies still love me big. That's not motivation enough. But $2 million, that's a starting point for me. So if you're getting 30 and 40, hey, maybe you might want to get on that treadmill so you're not huffing and puffing. And I do believe that is a way to win the game. Can they do it? Can I believe in them? Can I have faith in them? Is that going to happen? Jason, is that going to happen?
Yeah, the Eagles are going to win because they're out here playing chess and not checkers. You know who the Saints play after the Eagles?
Who?
The Falcons, who just got that big win. So the Saints got to worry about the Falcons now, and they're overlooking the Eagles, right? So the Eagles set them up. They took that loss to set up the Saints. No, I doubt that. The reason I don't think the Eagles will lose down there is Derek Carr is not a good quarterback. He's been good these 2 weeks, but let's be honest. Derek Carr is going to return to who Derek Carr is.
Harry?
Man, I like the way you started that off, Jason. I was starting to believe. I was really like, "What's going on, man?" Okay, I mean, definitely agree with you guys. The long drives are key. I saw Drew make the comment, Hassan Reddick, go get him, Howie. I miss Hassan a lot right now. I definitely do. But no, I totally agree. The only way we're going to win is the offense. I'm saying it's a Kellen Moore game. We need him to step up. Those long drives you're talking about were great. While I'm watching the game, last night, I'm thinking, what a professional way to end the game. That's how I'm thinking when we're going down the field and we're gonna, close it out. And then it ends up being the opposite. We need that to be maintained throughout the game, professionally, strategic play calling to get us on these long drives, and that's on Kellen Moore.
So, the one thing I also love about fandom is that sometimes you just gotta lie to yourself. And that confidence might get you a date. You know what I mean? You sitting there, you seeing the girl at the end of the bar, you trying to hype yourself up. You like, look, I don't even care if she say no. I don't even care if she reject me. I'm going to go try anyway. And then you walk over there and she says yes. You be like, yeah, I was the man. See, I knew I was going to get her number. I knew it. And that's what we're doing right here, right now. We're all sitting here saying things that sound positive. I do remember exactly what Joe said to start his soliloquy was, please, Lord.
Law
we got to start with the faith. And the thing that kills me the most is, again, it goes back to I'm just out. I don't have faith in the leadership and my coach. He also sat there in that interview when someone asked him a very legitimate question about play calling, and he was very defensive. You're trying to start something up. It's a legitimate question, bro, because we're just trying to find out. In those crucial moments, do you have input? Because you seem very animate when they didn't do the false start. You were the way he makes it feel like sometimes it's like, dude, we know you're a nobody. We know you're a high school Harry, but could you just not act tough in certain moments? Like when CJDJ's out there and he's got his helmet off and he's yelling, like, I don't need you to run down the entire sideline to greet one man for one play.
His helmet that fell off.
Wink. It did fall.
I love that.
Wink. No, it fell off. You saw the top view where the helmet was crooked to the side like
it
this.
fell off when his hands went under it.
No, it was already coming off, and his chin strap was up here. Shut up, Jason. See, that's why mute yourself.
Right.
Now, back to Nick Sirianni. Blanket shit ran all the way down there. Hey, that's a teammate that was on the field with you. Hey, good job, bro. I appreciate it. For Nick to sprint all the way down there when I still got 3 minutes left in the game to be and then to be followed by Dom. Now I'm gonna say this late in the show because if you're here this late, I appreciate you. Again, subscribe on the YouTube, and I need you out here in these streets to support me. But I also say things like this late so I don't get crucified. I'm tired of Big Dom.
Same.
I don't need Big Dom. Your job is security and to be a sexy little ninja that nobody knew about. And now all you're doing is giving out Leisure Suit Larrys and trying to get FaceTime. And he's a very good man. He is a I've met him a couple times. I've seen him with the people. He sits there, even though he's supposed to be guarding the players. Like the players got to guard him now because everybody wants a picture of Big Dom. And I get it. But the fact that my coach needs a babysitter on the sideline and that babysitter now loves all this FaceTime, why is he running down, grabbing up Charner Garner Johnson and shaking him by the pads? Oh, yeah, you young lion. Hey, oh, my guy. Why are you on national TV, bro? Why do you have a fake job so you can sit there and rub Nick Sirianni's back when he gets you to mad and keep him calm? I'm so sick of the Big Dom, not experiment, exposure. I've already got to deal with the Kelsey brothers. My God, and he's a legend. Thank you for service in Philadelphia and championing us across the nation. You make us look better, okay? But I don't need the Big Dom effect anymore. I'm sick and tired of the Dommy Dom world. It's a crazy mixed up world. It's a Dommy Dom world. I'm done with it. I can't stand it. But again, it's late in the show. Nobody's watching. Don't come for me. I love Italians. I love suits. I just don't need his suit out there. You know what I mean? Like I just don't need like we're not in the mafia. Like I get Italian pride. I mean I got black pride. I get the whole pride. But it's like my goodness, do we have to bring it up? I know you're Italian. You're wearing a patch. I know, but you're also an American. Like put a flag on the other side. Balance it out. It's just too much Big Dom. And yeah. So Joe, you made good points. You did a good job. You're a Yankee fan. I don't know how we let you on the show, but we do have to have you back, Joe. I'm going to plug your Twitter, and like I said, Joe's out here doing big things. What do you want to plug on the show, Joe?
I mean, just check me out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 10 a.m. We do Philly Mornings, Joe. Come check me out on YouTube and Twitter, and yeah, let's talk football and free Big Dom. I love Big Dom.
I love Big Dom too. It's just I want Big Dom.
He's too free. He's all out there.
Clipped. I'm clipping it, calling Big Dom my damn self.
See, that's why I put it there in the show. So you can now I don't even want to plug you no more.
Now you need a Big Dom now.
Now you about to clip me. I mean, look, I'm scared. Dom, I'm scared of you too. You know, like, he's the Philadelphia Eagles Secret Service. That's why I don't need to see him. You never know who those dudes are. You just know when they snatch you up or they show up at your house in suits. You're scared to death.
We are never getting credentials now.
For real. And then Joe gonna talk about he clipping me. Philly TP on the Twitter. He's also got a what are you doing at Fox Gamble? I saw you doing the show.
So I'm just covering the Eagles for them this season. Just join Fox Sports The Gambler. So check out their YouTube, helping them with the socials, the YouTube, and stuff like that. Should be a lot of fun. So check me out over there as well on air, the radio, and then also on their YouTube. It's a whole bunch of fun. You know, making money out here and loving Big Dom. That's really what I'm doing. I'm loving Big Dom.
Like I said earlier in the show, you know, Joe's doing middle stuff. You know, he's getting to being bigger stuff, and then he's going to be doing great stuff. And I was going to try and be his friend and ride his coattails, but now he's trying to jam me up. If anything happens to me, just know that I didn't do it to myself. If I disappear and it's gritty afternoons, you know that something happened to your boy. He went somewhere. He's trying to call me out. Again, Harry, I appreciate you and your positivity and your mustache. Jason, we've been fighting on text messages for the last 48 hours. We got to go back to being friends. We've been on a good streak of just being on the same page lately. So yesterday it was good to get the blood boiling.
You got to spar every once in a while to stay sharp.
We did. All the new of commenters and followers that Joe brought over. If I can steal y'all, like I said, find us on YouTube and vice versa. Kate, go ahead and subscribe to Joe because, like I said, Joe, one day he's gonna blow up. Yeah, I mean, he might take us to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I mean, he needs a crew. He needs little Doms.
I'll be a Big Dom. I was about to say,
my Big Dom, bro.
I'll be little Dom. I'll be little Dom.
There it is. You know what I mean?
Can I say something real quick before we end this up? Yeah. You're giving me a bunch of flowers, and I appreciate it. But you do some amazing content, brother. Like you are hilarious, man. But you know your Eagles and you know your football. So I appreciate the flowers, and I'll take them. But you're gonna be right there with me at the Super Bowl, so I ain't gotta buy you nothing, bro. You're gonna be right there in the seats with me, dog.
I appreciate you. See, I grew up with these two, so they know that I'm just an insane person. So yeah, I mean, it's nice when somebody outside of the circle knows that I'm all right. Somebody else say something, you know what I mean? Because you make all these jokes. I try to make sports fun, bro, because I know the X's and O's, but I'm not Duffy out here. You know what I mean? I'm watching all 22s just getting angry. They're watching it to analyze. I'm like, oh that damn ball. Again, to everybody that popped in and listened and watched, we appreciate you. Another Gritty Nights. We're out. We'll talk to you later. Oh yeah, I forgot about the most important thing because when I was telling y'all and then we had said it.
Fuck the 49ers. Yeah. Fuck the 49ers. Yeah. Fuck the 49ers. Y'all a sorry ass team. Thanks. Fuck the 49ers. Damn. I hate the 49ers. I hate y'all. I hate the 49ers. Fuck y'all. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks.
Oh my God.
Every time, y'all. Every time. All right, we out.